Yeah, we're a couple weeks into the NFL, but the NBA season is right around the corner. And what does that mean for us here on Philadelphia 76ers now? More coverage, more news, more rumors, more analysis, more videos for the Philly faithful. So sub for Sixers dubs because you don't want to miss us ramping up our coverage here on 76ers Now, best Sixers channel out there. All right, let's get it. Let's let it rip. You're watching Philadelphia 76ers Now by Chat Sports. Chase Sr. here with you. Hope the great Philadelphians are having a fantastic start to your week. We have another great show on tap for you today, and we talk about the most recent and notable Philadelphia 76ers acquisition by Daryl Morey. Of course, familiarity between him and Montrezl Harrell, as we talked about, and familiarity between Montrezl Harrell as well as James Harden. And that's what made the signing of Harrell, the former Sixth Man of the Year, so seamless. And Daryl Morey was asked about the acquisition, Sixers signing him to a 2-year deal to back up Joel Embiid. And what I like about it, toughness that he brings to the table. His shoe game is hella fresh, but also really quality depth at that 5, but also that 4 spot, depending on how you want to mix and match your lineups, if you want to play big or you want to play small. Here's what Morey had to say about the acquisition of signing Montrezl Harrell. Trez had his best years under Doc Rivers with the Los Angeles Clippers. Sixth Man of the Year, really flourished after that Chris Paul trade that brought him to the Clippers and working with Sam Cassell. We were comfortable going in with what we had. We thought that if there was an issue, we could address it during the season. A long way of saying having a player like Montrezl Harrell or a skill set like that we'd love to have, we just didn't think it would come now. And it's a great luxury that the Sixers have that now in Montrezl Harrell. He is a significant upgrade in terms of the overall player as compared to Paul Reed. And as I've continued to say, I like Paul Reed. How long he is, active he is, really does do a good job of altering passing routes and passing lanes and blocking shots, and occasionally he can step back and do what Montrezl Harrell can't do and hit a three-pointer. I want to see more development there. And I like Paul Reed. I like the Sixers as these Sixers as a basketball team with both Paul Reed and Montrezl Harrell. Now, 2 different players who have had 2 different careers, and they've been on 2 different trajectories. For Montrezl Harrell, very well accomplished. Even going back to Louisville, when he was playing with, I believe, Peyton Siva back in the day. He was phenomenal playing for Rick Pitino, and that's translated into a really good NBA career. He's been an established player for a long time, whereas Paul Reed, more of an up-and-comer. But why I like the acquisition and the addition is just what Harrell brings to the table on top of what Paul Reed also brings to the floor. 13 points per game, 6 rebounds. I do expect Harrell's numbers to be somewhere along those lines, and I expect Paul Reed to take that next step. But what was one of the biggest weaknesses for Philadelphia in the second round against the Miami Heat? Depth. Now, this offseason, they fulfilled a monster need on this roster in terms of depth by bringing in guys like P.J. Tucker, Daniel House, DeAnthony Melton, now Montrezl Harrell. And this depth chart here, in terms of front court players for Philadelphia, again, a little bit deeper than it was prior to a couple of weeks ago when Harrell was still a free agent. And Reed as the third option is a lot better than relying on him to play heavily every single night. And again, that goes back to just the overall accumulation of depth on this basketball team. And that's what teams need to make deep runs in the playoffs, because those minutes, those substitution patterns, they get really, really important. And if you lack depth like the Sixers have, that's when some of their flaws rear its ugly head. And that's why the Sixers have been ousted and haven't got past the second round, going all the way back to 2001. Depth, a big reason for that. So let me know, after hearing from Daryl Morey, rate the signing of Montrezl Harrell for me from 1 to 100. You like it a lot? 100. You dislike it? Down on that lower portion of the scale, give me a 1. Just be honest. That's all I ask from you. All right, Bleacher Report now, putting together some of the biggest question marks going into this upcoming NBA season. And a question that Bleacher Report posed, which is what we've talked about here on 76ers Now. Can James Harden get his groove back? Is he washed? And can he be even just a little bit like the Houston Rockets' James Harden and not be hampered by that hamstring injury, go ice cold from distance? We're just asking from a better James Harden. Him being in better shape, I think, allows him to flourish better on the basketball floor. But here's what Bleacher Report did have to say about the beard. Last year, James Harden averaged his fewest points since becoming a full-time starter a decade ago. His 41% field goal percentage, lowest since his rookie year. 33% three-point percentage, the worst of his career. So what happened? Was the now 33-year-old finally showing his age and struggling to compensate for a burst forever lost to the history books? Or were these merely the unsightly markings of a hamstring injury that pestered him in parts of the past 2 seasons? If this was injury-related, then it's something that he can overcome. If he's simply on the decline, then Philly's championship formula may never compute. Now, I disagree with that latter part. I think that if James Harden is the 3rd or 4th option on the Sixers team, they're going to be just fine. He has to be a little bit better than he was last year, but they don't need him to be the Rockets' James Harden, right? They just need him to be that steady presence at point guard. Utilize that great vision as well as that craftiness, become a better catch-and-shoot guy, be in better shape, and gain maybe half that step back. I'm not asking for the full thing, but then allow Tyrese Maxey to eat up and do his thing and be a dog, as well as Joel Embiid and Tobias Harris, who I think was underrated last year. But the injury of the hamstring, we'll see if that was the issue. Age, a lot of mileage on the tires, his usage rate, and a ton of minutes with the Houston Rockets could also be a part of his downfall as he enters the back 9 of his career. Now, if you're a real one, I want to hear from you in the comment section right now by typing real one, roll call. And if you're about that life, the real one life, and you want to support the movement, get yourself a t-shirt. And if you do, and you send us a picture of you rocking a red Sixers Real One shirt, a blue one, even a black one, send it to us. Chatsports.com/real one allows you to get the tee, and then you can hit me up on my social media platforms. Cannot wait to hear from you. As for James Harden, you look at what he did in the regular season as well as in the playoffs, and what's interesting here, three-point percentage went up in the big dance, nearly 37%. Regular season, sub 33. Field goal percentage, about the same. But the points per game went down. The assists went down. And the rebounds went down. Frankly, at times, he looked to be tired. And a big question mark, considering Harden only played half the year last year with Philadelphia, how does he fit in this Sixers offense? For me, I prefer Tyrese Maxey being more of a go-to scorer in the guts of the game in some of those critical stretches as compared to the Beard because of Maxey's emergence, his athleticism, and then the little bit of a decline that we've seen from Harden. What do you think, though? Sound off, show off that basketball intellect down below in the comment section. Will he start grooving and get that groove back? Little shimmy from James Harden at the Wells Fargo Center. Let's get it. G for Groover, W for Washed. Let us know right now. City Edition uniforms leaked. We'll see if they actually end up being the City Edition uniforms, but if they are, I kind of like them, folks. The floor obviously changes up when they wear some of these uniforms, and can I just say right now, so fresh and so clean are the entire Sixers lineup of uniforms. I think they have some of the best color schemes, one of the best logos in all of sports, and these brotherly love unis are really dope, and I hope that they are the City Edition uniforms because the city of brotherly love, it's where it's at. It's where it's on and popping. FDC, because they took away Philadelphia being our nation's capital. We're the real nation's capital, and it's a city of brotherly love. You feel me? All right, before we hop on out of here, in addition to me hosting Philadelphia 76ers Now, they call me Mr. Philadelphia at Chat Sports based down here in Dallas, F the Cowboys. And speaking of F the Cowboys, I also host Philadelphia Eagles Now. Subscribe for all things Philly content, Sixers, Eagles. You see the link down below, youtube.com/Eagles Now. And if you're watching this on Monday, it's going to be a party for Monday Night Football for a watch party on Philadelphia Eagles Now. Hope you all subscribe and you join us, and we do all things Philadelphia together.